Aaron Rodgers.
Eat it, Pete.
Reportedly not expected to attend Packers mandatory minicamp, barring some sort of a change. Just enough weasel words in there. I don't mean that in a pejorative way, although I don't know when you ever use weasel words in a non-pejorative way. But there's just enough of a safe harbor in the report from NFL media. Not expected to not show up, barring a change of heart. Look, I think Aaron Rodgers likes this mystery, the beautiful mystery. He wants people talking about him, and then he wants to be able to say, why are you talking about me? That's the way it is. Reminds me of when Elaine had the Botticelli shoes. She liked it because everybody was talking about him, and they wanted to know where she got them, and then she got pissed off when people were talking about her shoes and wanted to know where she got them. That's Aaron Rodgers in a nutshell. He wants us all talking about him, and he wants to be upset that we're all talking about him. So it can't be a clean answer, right, Chris? It's got to be not expected to attend, barring some sort of a change of heart. So we'll keep paying attention. Ooh, is he going to show up? He's not expected to. Maybe he will. Maybe he won't. Let's see. So I don't know. I guess he's not going to, and the cheeseheads are going to lose their minds.
Yeah, I don't expect him to show. I don't. Why would anybody else really expect him? With the way this offseason's gone, I don't see it. I just think with Aaron Rodgers.
But I love my teammates. I love the coaches. I love the fans. Like, at some point, suck it up. I was telling Rich Eisen yesterday, we all got a problem with the boss at some level. Not us, of course. But, people show up for work every day and they don't like the boss. But I like my coworkers. I like what I do. Yeah, I got issues with management. They haven't given me a raise in 15 months, and I need more money, and I want this, and I like where my office is. But I love my workplace.
Yeah.
So I just think it shows that all that stuff's BS.
Well, I'm not going to buy that. I'm not going to say that it's BS. I think it's real, because like what you said there, too, to your point is like, okay, yeah, I love my job. I love all those things. Yeah, we all have our problems with our boss. But, I think he feels like the bosses lied to him. The bosses have been trying to replace him behind his back or trying to push him out the door. So, yeah, he doesn't love the bosses at all. And he is uncomfortable, I think, in a totality as far as being there in Green Bay, about where he is and where's his place in the organization for the next few years. I can understand that. I have sympathy for that, without a doubt. I understand. I get frustrated with the cryptic part of all of this at times, too. But I think this is real, too. I don't think this is one where I could just, like I say, swipe it under the rug and just be like, oh, that's all right, no big deal, I'll forget about it. No, I think there's a lot of circumstances that have gone on here that have led him to have a chapped butt. And he's going to just kind of wait this out and let, the storm fizzle a little bit so he can go to training camp and make that first day to answer some questions, and then he won't be available for 3 or 4 weeks, and he's hoping it all just kind of melts and fades away.
But do we think that this is a precursor to him not showing up for training camp? If you're going to show up for training camp, why not be there for the mandatory minicamp? Why are you skipping that?
Because I think he just looks at it like this is not a necessity for them to necessarily be a great team or do anything like that. I think he can swallow the pill of, okay, I'm going to miss 3 days of mandatory minicamp. I'm going to miss a few meetings, some 7-on-7 sessions, and some routes with air. All right, well, I'll make up for that in July when I get the receivers to my house or whatever else, and we throw the footballs then. I would be shocked, like I'd be shocked today to see him at mandatory minicamp, but I also will be even more shocked if he pulls this kind of shenanigans for training camp when that comes, because I do think that that's a time where, yeah, the scrutiny will get real. He will have a fan base that'll start to get pissed at him. You will start to filter into the locker room and the coaches once you get into training camp, and now you're messing with the team and you're messing with the year. That's when, the stuff that you talk about, I think could get very real for Rodgers, to where he could feel that pressure, and that's where he's definitely going to be there, at least in my thought.
Cumulative fine of $93,085 under the CBA if Aaron Rodgers misses all 3 days of the mandatory minicamp. That's a number that applies to any player under contract who misses all 3 days of the annual mandatory minicamp. He's already given up $500,000 in a workout bonus because he needed to be present for 85% of the offseason program to get that. That was gone by the time he landed in Hawaii. So no $500,000. The $93,000. Now the difference is that's money out of your pocket.
Yes, it is.
It's one thing to say I could earn $500,000 and I choose not to. It's another thing to have to write a check or have money deducted from
that's how
your game checks.
Right.
And And the Packers have not decided whether or not to fine him.
Yeah.
That could be an olive branch. But look, I don't know how interested they are in extending olive branches. I go back to Mark Murphy's gratuitous right turn in responding to a fan question that didn't even ask about Aaron Rodgers when he says the Aaron Rodgers situation has divided our fan base, and we've decided not to say anything publicly about it, except the fact that it's divided our fan base. And I don't know. Are they inclined to do this guy any favors? He's technically in violation of his contract by not showing up for mandatory minicamp. Technically. Now, he's got a broader contract with the union and the league under the CBA that allows him to not show up if he's willing to pay the $93,000. But, I don't know. I don't know who makes that call as to whether or not they fine him, but I assume Mark Murphy is far more involved in these decisions than anyone realizes.
I would think so. I think that is a kind of a Mark Murphy, president of football operations, GM conversation type of decision there on what to do. And, I mean, you're right, the $500,000 workout bonus, okay, yes, that was you had to earn that. This is one where, again, it's $93,000. We know that's a lot of damn money, but for a guy like Aaron Rodgers, it's not something like you said. He doesn't have to write a check. It's, the week one check you get, Aaron Rodgers, that is for $2 million, will now be for, 90,000 or 900,000 instead. That's where it's going to be different. So that's not going to make or break Aaron Rodgers, or nor is he going to care. But I think, at least in my experience in these type of cases where it's not just a mid-level player trying to make a point or something like this, star players, the star player, more times than not, they don't get fined in these situations by their football team. And I would think that this is one that Green Bay is probably going to be careful about, not to ruffle his feathers a little bit more. And I don't think we'll really get the answer to this till training camp, right? Whether they really want to take or make that, we don't know. When do we know? Go ahead. Yeah, tell me.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Under the CBA that was
newly
agreed to by the league and the union last year,
right?
$50,000 per day for skipping training camp must be paid.
That must be paid. That's
be
right.
Waived.
Right.
Now, look, you can always find ways to legitimately funnel money back to a guy. You can just give him a raise at the end of the year or during the year for the $2 million that he lost in fines for staying away from training camp. But it's not as clean and easy as it used to be when you just say, okay, fine, you held out, you came back, we're not gonna charge you this money. They have to charge Aaron Rodgers. Now, he doesn't care about $50,000 a day either. This is about proving his point. And maybe he, look, Chris, maybe he really is willing to sit out, willing to not either be prepared for the season or not show up for the season. Maybe he's sufficiently pissed at the Green Bay Packers organization, the corporation, not the coaches, not the teammates, but the structure of the team, of the franchise, that he isn't going to show up. And I still think that look what's going to happen this week. Jordan Love,
he's going to get more reps
as a starting quarterback.
Right.
Let's get him ready. I still think that if I'm Mark Murphy, this guy's been a pain in my ass for years now, especially behind the scenes, all the stuff we don't know about. Hey, he doesn't want to be here, fine. We'll take $35 million out of his pockets, or it's a combination of taking money back and not paying him $14.7 million salary and $6.8 million roster bonus that he's earned, but he gets week by week during the season. But by the time you take signing bonus and not pay all the other stuff, it is over $30 million. We'll take that. We'll reinvest it. We'll get Jordan Love ready. He'll be the bad guy because he didn't show up. We're constantly saying we want him here. We love Aaron Rodgers. We want him back. He's our guy. He's our guy. And, expectations are reduced. This year isn't a great year for us unless Jordan Love ends up being great right out of the gates. And then 2022, we trade Aaron Rodgers for maximum compensation and we move forward. I don't know that that's that bad of an outcome when the alternative is to give in to Aaron Rodgers and abandon your plan to develop Jordan Love as a successor.
Well, yeah, okay. I mean, you don't have to give in. I mean, they're not giving in right now, right?
But what's he want? But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
The alternative is
right.
giving in.
Yeah.
So if the alternative is giving in,
okay, yeah,
then fine, stay away. Give us $35 million. let us get Jordan Love ready. We'll trade you for multiple first-round picks plus in March, and we move forward, and Jordan Love is another year more prepared by the time 2022 rolls around. My point is, that's door number one. We don't know what door number two is.
No, we don't.
We still don't know exactly what he wants. He wants Brian Gutekunst fired, and he's never rebutted that. Well, that's a non-starter. So I don't know what it takes at this point.
We know he wants commitment. We know that. We know. I mean,
but I think it's too late for that.
It might be.
I got a feeling he gave them a chance to do it.
Right.
And now he wants more than that.
Yeah, listen, I understand, like, your hardball scenario with that and, like, not wanting to bend or do something like that and do something drastic to where, yeah, it ruins your plans for the next 2 or 3 years because you bend to, like you're saying, some guy that's been a pain in our butt or a thorn in our side or whatever that is. But at the same time, it's still a delicate matter here. And I got to think they got to be a little worried about, having egg on their face here with this situation, too. So it is Aaron Rodgers. He is the leader of the football team. He's the best player on the football team. And he's the reason we talk about you being in the Super Bowl window. When you do things and treat a guy like that, it goes, it permeates throughout the locker room. That people will feel those shockwaves. Whoa, that's how they treat the best player, the star, those things. So these are all things that, Mark Murphy and them have to be, realizing that could happen here if they want to play this hardball game with Rodgers and never bend, let alone, again, they're playing the risk of, all right, do we really want to tell Rodgers, screw off, we're not bending or doing anything in your favor here, and roll the dice with Jordan Love? I think that's got to be a scary thing, too. Now, yes, people might not like Aaron Rodgers, but if Green Bay, like we talked about yesterday, starts Jordan Love and they go 6-11 and it looks shaky, well, there's only going to be one person that the Green Bay fans are going to be pissed at after that. They're going to go, what? We did this for this? And that's, to me, where, Rodgers does have a little power, and I think he knows that. I think he knows that Gutekunst and Murphy just don't think this guy's ready yet, and that's where he has a little bit power in his own corner there.
But they had to have known. They knew or should have known that this is the path that they were embarking on.
I know.
When they traded up to draft Jordan Love. They saw something in their pre-draft study, and they would privately say, well, it wasn't like a master plan like the Chiefs had to go get Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
This just kind of unfolded on draft night.
Right.
We wanted Justin Jefferson. Vikings got him. We wanted Brandon Ayuk. 49ers traded up to 25 to get him. Well, they scrambled. I don't know whether they panicked. I mean, either way, it's not a good look.
No.
That's right. Either they already had a flow chart where it was like, all right, Justin Jefferson, then Brandon Ayuk, then Jordan Love, or they freaked out when the 49ers went from 31 to 25 and decided, oh, crap, we better go from 30 to 26 to get this quarterback that we want if the two receivers we covered aren't there. I can't believe
that's where
they just
weird
pulled that
logic
out of their butts the night of the draft. They had to have known that this was on the radar screen because you think through all the options. That's why the teams do mock drafts. What happens if these are the first 29? What if these are the first 29? What if these are the first 29? What's our option? What's our option? What's our option? And their third option was go get Jordan Love. So I look at it this way, and I've said this before. The fact that they could have used the 30th overall pick and the 4th round pick they packaged to go get Jordan Love on two different players who could have helped them beat the Buccaneers, beat the Chiefs, win the Super Bowl. The fact that they got Jordan Love instead should at some level make them more determined to prove that he's the right guy.
Yeah.
To prove that they did the right thing.
Sure.
To prove that he can be a franchise quarterback and the successor to Aaron Rodgers.
But, I think you're right. The problem is the coaches, I don't think, were involved in this, and they have nothing to prove. That's the other part of this. So the front office did this on their own by all accounts. I think you and I have heard enough to think that that's what went down, at least, that the coaches weren't like, hey, it's time to think about replacing Rodgers. Let's trade up. And it was not a coach's decision. So they're not all in on this. And so they're not invested in this either. So and of course, they're invested into, we want to win games so we can keep our job. oh, that's right, that guy number 12 does best in that, so let's keep him around. Hey, that's Aaron Rodgers. He's the heart and soul of our team. I hope he's back. That's right, because that's how they feel. And like the way you explain the draft and everything like that, either way, it's just not an acceptable answer. You know? Oh, you wanted the receivers. They weren't there. So wait, we decided to trade up to get a quarterback? The receivers weren't there? I mean, that's where I just don't understand it. I mean, and then, of course, there was other good receivers on the board. Still, if they just stayed where they were. I mean, T. Higgins is pretty good. Michael Pittman Jr. is pretty good. Chase Claypool, pretty good. I mean, so that's where it doesn't even make sense that way to me from a football standpoint, let alone the way they handled it and all of those type of things. And I don't know. It's crazy. It's a crazy situation.
Could have traded down,
right?
Gotten extra lottery tickets and even more players who could have potentially helped the team,
right,
get past the Buccaneers and beat the Chiefs if they had beaten the Buccaneers in the NFC Championship game. Look, there has been within the Packers organization for several years now an element of dysfunction, and I don't know who's to blame for it. I don't know. The one constant, well, two constants, has been Aaron Rodgers and Mark Murphy.
Yeah, that's right.
And Chris, let me remind everyone of this.
Mm-hmm.
After Tyler Dunn published, and at the time he was with Bleacher Report.
That's right. Yep.
He's now got his own thing. I think it's Go Long.
I think so. Tyler's a good guy.
Address.
I mean, I know him
Great
from my
guy.
days there. Yep.
Long article delving into the relationship between Rodgers and Mike McCarthy,
right,
who at the time had been fired, and everyone was trying to figure out what went wrong. Great article, a lot of stuff in there. And one of the things that Mark Murphy said, I think it was even a quote in the article or in the aftermath of the article, he was kind of happy. He thought, hey, you know, if this gets some people around here pissed off, that may be good for us. And that always stuck with me because I think at some level he's the mad scientist stirring the pot, thinking that, hey, if this Jordan Love thing gets Aaron Rodgers a little more pissed off, maybe that's going to be good for us. And I just think that you can only push the buttons and pull the strings of a guy like Aaron Rodgers for so long before he figures out he's being manipulated, before he figures out you're concocting reasons to get him upset, and he's going to turn that on you, not on the circumstance. He's going to turn it on you and say, screw you. And I think that's one of the reasons why this is blown up in their faces. And at some level, you know, we've said, why are they treating Aaron Rodgers like this? He's never been wishy-washy. He's never done the Brett Favre, will I or won't I retire? He's never held the franchise hostage that way. No, but he's been a chronic pain in their ass.
Yes, he has.
Behind the scenes.
Sure.
And at a certain point, you've had enough of that, too.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I get it. You know, I mean, most star players are a little bit of a pain in the butt. There's no doubt. And Rodgers, I mean, I think Rodgers has felt somewhat, at least on the outside looking in, if I'm him, disrespected probably for a number of years. I just look at it that way, you know. I mean, between, you know, some of the offense that he's been involved in, you know, lack of creativity. You know, I was saying that a few years ago. I mean, the offense, it was a fifth-grade offense. You know, the other good teams in football were, you know, in advanced geometry, and there was Aaron Rodgers running slant flat and double slant. And, oh, Aaron, they know we're running, but just throw a rifle in there and just get it in there. Oh, okay, coach, no problem. I mean, so he feels that way. They've never gone all in on him in any capacity, really, at any angle. I mean, damn, we almost broke the internet when they free agency. They signed Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith. Holy crap, we've never seen them do that. I mean, all of those things, I think, through the years probably have piled up on him. And then there he goes, wait, you've done nothing, but I keep us in the playoff hunt and Super Bowl relevant every year. I take a nice contract. Yeah, I'm a pain in the butt and I've complained, but then all of a sudden you do this. And I think that's where it just all came to a head, to where he's like, wait, they didn't tell me. I had no idea. I was still playing good. They traded up. We were just in the NFC Championship game. We wasted it on that. I think all of those things, it's just all funneled to this point in this situation to where he's pissed. But I will say, I just would be absolutely shocked if he still missed training camp. I just think because of all the things we've talked about and how hyper-aware he is and everything, and I just can't imagine him giving up a year of football right now with as good as he's playing and still knowing that this team is damn good. It's not great, but it's damn good.
One other factor, and I'm reluctant to mention it, but it's something that I know the Packers are considering, are factoring into their overall thought process. Look, he's got a fiancée. She's got influence. I'm not even going to try to pronounce her first name because I'm going to get it wrong.
Shailene?
Is it
Shailene Woodley?
Is it Shailene or Shylene?
I think it's
Shailene. Or is it Shylene?
I've been saying Shailene for a long time.
Either way,
but I'm sorry if I'm wrong.
Well-known actress, not nearly well-known enough by us to get her first name right by that. But look, the partner has say.
Has a say,
and,
no doubt.
And again, is that right? Is that wrong? No, it doesn't matter. Partner has a say.
That's right.
And I'm not putting any blame on anybody. I'm just saying that's a wild card in the relationship that is still fairly new for the Packers to have to deal with. And if she's all in with screw them, and I can't believe they did to you what they did to you and put you through that with this Jordan Love thing and didn't even bother to give you a phone call. I mean, if she's all in with the, yes, you should be upset and you shouldn't go, and oh, by the way, I got plenty of money too, so we don't got to worry about you not playing football for a year. If she's all in with that, it's more likely to go one way. If she's saying, have you really thought this through? I mean, haven't we all been there at some point?
Definitely.
With a spouse. I've been married almost 27 years.
Right.
Have you really thought this through? You know, I mean, when you start getting questions like that, it's like, maybe you're right.
Yeah.
Shailene.
Yes.
Shailene. Thank you, Pete.
No, but you're right.
But I know the Packers are like, well, we don't know. Is that gonna be? Well, maybe it already is, and maybe it's going to be a factor when the time comes to show up for training camp.
Well, you always got to take, the missus, the significant other, the wife, into account. There's no doubt they're part of the situation, the problem solving. I certainly never made like a decision in my career without talking about it with my wife and letting her know so she could let me know her feelings about wanting to live there, do anything like that. I mean, it is part of the game. Hey, my dad, here's a funny story. He was thinking about signing with the Cleveland Browns and Bill Belichick. He told my mom, maybe you should start looking for high schools in Cleveland and everything for Christopher and the schools and the kids. And my mom said, oh, no, honey, we'll just come and see the home games, and then we'll just see you. You can come home in the bye week, and that was kind of the end of the Cleveland discussion. I mean, I think that made my dad go like, "Whoa, okay, wait, so you guys aren't going to move out there with me, all right?" And then, I think that did. He still went out there for a visit, but it was something in the back of his mind where he was like, "I don't know if I'm going to do this or not." So that is a real situation, but hopefully she can realize too. At the end I think this is a thing where if he sits out a year, he's going to look back at this in 10 years from now in his life and go, I shouldn't have done that. I'm mad I did that. I was playing too good of football, and I shouldn't have wasted that year of my last few 5 or 6 years of my career, wasting it away because they screwed me over. And I always come back to that thought too.
Peter King made the suggestion here on Friday and reduced it to writing in Football Morning in America that the two sides should come together and agree that Aaron Rodgers will play one more year for the Packers and they'll trade him after the season. I think it's a great idea. I think it makes a ton of sense. I think it's very logical. I just have a feeling it's 4 months too late. I just think that it's too late, that bridge is going to take more repair work than to say, we'll trade you after the season, because I think Aaron would sit and say, well, you're going to trade me anyway after the season. I'm not stupid. I'll make you trade me next year. I'll sit out all of this year, and I'll just show up at a time when you've moved on. And, of course, you're going to trade me at that point. So I just think that this game of four-dimensional chess is not going to be easily won by the Packers at this point, especially because I think staying away from the mandatory minicamp is as significant as staying away from training camp, because when have we seen a franchise quarterback ever not show up for the mandatory minicamp? When's that ever happened?
Yeah.
Franchise quarterbacks show up for offseason workouts all the time. Russell Wilson, as unhappy as he is with the Seattle Seahawks, he's there with bells on, getting ready, setting aside his personal feelings and recognizing, I got a legacy on the line. I got to get ready for the season. I'm there. They got their mandatory minicamp next year. He's there for a week of OTAs before the mandatory minicamp. So there's still a competitive element to this.
Definitely.
That gets undermined. And, Aaron Rodgers sabotaging himself and indirectly the team by not being there and being prepared. So I think it's extremely significant.
It is. I'm not going to downplay it. I'm not. But I don't think it's not training camp significant. I will say that there is a difference. But for a franchise quarterback, these type of players like Rodgers, Brady's, whatever, the Mahomes, the Josh Allens, they're there any chance they can get. They're always around the facility. Oh, it's minicamp, it's OTAs. I didn't know. I'm here. I mean, I came to work. All right. That's the way those guys are wired. So it is not within like his natural way to want to stay away from this type of thing. But unlike the Russell Wilson situation, Russell Wilson wasn't secretly being planned against behind closed doors to be replaced and then not being told about anything or anything like that after he brought them to the NFC Championship game. And that to me is just, when you lay it out like that, I mean, gosh, it sounds weird coming out of your mouth. It sounds weird when I say it. I go, did I say that right? Did I say that right? Wait, a guy who was like 26-4, 13-3, NFC Championship game, without a doubt one of the 5 best players in football. They didn't tell him they were going to draft a quarterback, and they tried to replace him. It's insane. So we could say, when has a franchise quarterback ever done, missed a minicamp? I can also go, when the hell have we ever seen a franchise do this to a quarterback to the stature of Aaron Rodgers? So it goes both ways here for sure.
Plenty of blame to go around, that's for damn sure. Yeah. And here's the other side of it too, Chris. Rodgers isn't there to face the music from the media. So everybody else is going to have to. I've made that point before.
Yeah, I know.
At a certain point, the teammates will start rolling their eyes privately among themselves. What the hell? Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go do this Zoom thing.
Yeah,
it's my turn. God, what's the over/under on questions I'm going to get about Aaron? Oh, 3.5. Well, I got 5 of them. They're going to ask about Aaron because he's not there to speak for himself. So others are going to have to speak for him. And again, we can blame the team. We can blame Aaron Rodgers. Ultimately, you blame the circumstance. Quarterback not there, and the others who are there trying to get ready for the season have to deal with all the questions. That's another part of this, too. Now, I don't know what kind of gift baskets or handwritten notes or text messages Aaron Rodgers has sent to his teammates to get them to feel good about carrying this burden, but they're going to have to carry it, because he didn't show up to carry it himself.
Yeah, they're going to have to deal with it this weekend. That's for sure. You're right. Now, it will, to your point, it will wear on the team and the players if we get into training camp, and now it's like a week in and he hasn't been there. That's where players are starting to go, oh, here we go. I'm going to a press conference, right? Nobody really wants to talk about me. I'm going to have to talk about the quarterback. Okay, I have to talk about that situation. Let me be careful about what I say. Let me make sure I don't piss off the coaches of the front office. Well, that wears on players for sure, and Rodgers will be, I think, aware of that too.
Think of the stress that it introduces for the player who is asked, on one hand, about Aaron Rodgers, on the other hand, about Jordan Love. Is Aaron going to be mad at me because I said all those good things about Jordan Love? Well, what if Jordan Love's going to be my quarterback this year? He's doing well. I got to say he's doing well. I want him to like me too.
Yeah.
I mean, the players on offense, the guys who have to run the pass routes and catch the football,
right,
and rely upon the quarterback to distribute the football to them, they're going to be caught in a hell of a dilemma, Chris, as a practical matter.
Well,
whose ass do I kiss harder here?
Yeah. Well,
right?
they know to kiss the ass of the king, and that's number 12. Okay, so the king. But you're right. They gotta be careful.
We've already seen guys like Aaron Jones.
Yes, that's where I was going with.
Praise Jordan Love.
Exactly, and that's how they'll praise him, right? He's so much more comfortable, right? It's not going to be about like, whoa, look at what he's doing. He's out here throwing lasers, because that would be like a challenge to Rodgers. It's going to be more about like he's so much more comfortable. He's more confident in the offense. He knows where he's going with the ball. Those are the praises, type of praise you're going to hear from Jordan Love. They'll know not to cross over to go, man, he looks amazing out here. Our offense hasn't missed a beat, and Jordan Love is throwing just dimes. That's where they know they're going to have to, make sure they don't piss off the king by saying stuff like that.
So when the question is, how does Jordan Love compare to Aaron Rodgers, the answer will be, I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question. Can you repeat it? How does Jordan Love compare to Aaron Rodgers? I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question. Can you repeat it? And just keep saying that over and over again until they move on. Well, that will be the strategy.
Well, or you're just gonna go, well, come on. You say something like, well, Aaron Rodgers is the NFL MVP. Jordan Love is doing some really good things out here, and we're excited about what we see. But let's pump the brakes before we start comparing him to Aaron Rodgers or something like that. They could say that, and that would be a nice compliment about Jordan Love. It's not disrespecting Rodgers, and you're also, not lying or bullcrap in that way either.
Here's the bottom line.
Yeah.
The Green Bay Packers Corporation is going to continue to thrive. It thrived through 20 years of SH-T football from 72 to 92. They still filled up Lambeau Field. They still had a waiting list longer than most people's lifetimes. They will get past this. The Green Bay Packers will endure. The cheeseheads will not go rotten.
No.
This is the way it is. And at some point, they were bound to separate from Aaron Rodgers. So Mark Murphy, who's been entrusted with the keys to the franchise, I just think at some point, you say it's in the best interest of the team to move on from this guy who has been a low-key cancer for the past few years on what we're trying to do. Because we run the team. We manage the team. The players play. He has thought that he has transcended that. And maybe other quarterbacks in other cities have, but they haven't done it here, and we're not letting him do it here. And if he doesn't see that, then he doesn't belong here. And I think it just makes it easier to justify the hard line and the secret hope that he doesn't show up. He said,
I know.
We've done everything.
But, I can't.
$35 million a year. He won't show up. It's not on us.
I know. You're right. But, see, I can't get behind some of that stuff there. Like, yeah, he's a pain in the butt, but he hasn't gotten involved. He doesn't complain when they never draft anybody on offense or never sign anybody in free agency.
We don't know that.
Well,
we don't know that publicly.
Okay, he hasn't done it publicly. Usually, if he is pissed off about stuff like that, there's something cryptic said or something. He didn't do that. So that's also more reason to where he's just feels cheated, been cheated, in my opinion, and all of those things. And that's where it's a crazy situation. But
I'm looking at it from the perspective of the Packers, though.
Yeah,
all the decisions and their attitude that led them to this point.
Yeah, I get it. They're looking at it that way.
The next natural step is screw this guy.
Yeah.
We've had enough.
Right.
And there's an easy way to do this. We know we're going to trade him next March. We don't have to tell anybody that. We don't have to say that publicly. We're going to trade him in March. But for now, if you don't want to show up, fine, don't show up. Be the bad guy on the way out the door. Give us back $35 million. Let us say, well, hey, Jordan Love, he didn't get much chance last year, so folks don't expect much. The bar needs to be 6-11 for this team, but this is an investment in the future. And if you're not happy with the fact that we're 6-11, number 12 is the one to go talk to because he's under contract for this year. He's breaching that contract by not showing up. I just think that regardless of whether we agree with that position, that's, to me, the next logical step in what we've seen the Packers already do.
If they don't want to give more, or if they just, if Rodgers is asking for more and wants something in return, I understand that position. I mean, I get it. I do. It's risky, like we mentioned, but I just think Rodgers is too smart and aware. And $35 million is still $35 million. I just can't imagine him giving that up along with all the other football stuff we've talked about.
Hey, it's better for us if he shows up. It's better for us if he's upset and everything he says this year can be analyzed for whatever the message is to Brian Gutekunst, Mark Murphy, or someone else in the organization. I mean, that will be high drama. That will be borderline Shakespearean if he shows up. So I hope he does.
Oh, of course. I mean, I want him there. I want him for all the sound bites, and of course, I want to see him throwing lasers around the field. I hope he's pissed off and throwing balls everywhere. So that's the best Aaron Rodgers like we saw last year. So I'm excited for that. It'll be a better football season if he's playing. Yes, and the
ultimate outcome.
There. Yeah.
Paul Crewe and the warden go pick up the football or the Lombardi Trophy and shove it into the midsection of Mark Murphy and say, stick this in your trophy case and walk off into the sunset. So that would be the ultimate capper to this if Rodgers shows up. So that's what we're rooting for. That's what we're rooting for. We want him to show up, but for this week, barring something unforeseen, he's not expected to show up, and we'll see if that unforeseen thing happens.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.